Hi. We'll create the payroll expenses journal entries together. When ADP handles all of your payroll liabilities, meaning they file the taxes and make the tax payments, you don't track payroll liabilities in QuickBooks. ADP already did that part. In QuickBooks, you simply record payroll as pure expenses like gross wages, employer taxes, workers' comp, retirement contributions, and all that good stuff. And depending on your setup, ADP might pull a few separate amounts from your bank. Totally normal. I'll show you the exact ones in a bit. So just drop those withdrawals into your temporary payroll expense account and then use one clean journal entry to break everything out into the right categories. Hey friend, I'm glad you're back. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Catherine Silverio, owner of Silver Bullet Bookkeeping. If you're a business owner and you need help with your books, just call, text, or email me to schedule a free discovery call. In this example, we're working with 3 ADP reports. If you're the business owner, simply go to Reports. If you want to invite your bookkeeper to ADP, or if you're the bookkeeper and need access to your client's payroll reports, the process is the same. The client must send the invitation. The client logs into ADP, goes to Setup Account, Manage Users, selects Add New User, and enters the bookkeeper's name and email. Then they grant access to the areas the bookkeeper needs. ADP then sends an invitation email to the bookkeeper automatically. Once you're inside the Reports section, scroll down and star the reports you need to mark as your favorites. These are my must-haves. First, the Payroll Liability Report. This has 2 pages. The first page is total cash required. The second page shows the employer taxes and related amounts. Second, the Payroll Summary Report, which gives you hours and gross wages. Net pay isn't relevant for this journal entry. Last is the Deductions Summary. To find that one, click Show All Reports, then go into Benefits Reports and star Deduction Summary. This report shows things like medical, vision, and dental amounts taken from employees' paychecks. We'll use all 3 of these reports to build a clean, accurate payroll expense journal entry in QuickBooks Online. And once you star them, they'll always appear right at the top when you come back each month. Here are my steps. You may want to take a screenshot of this for easy reference. Step 1. Pull up the first page of the Payroll Liability Cash Requirement Report. This page shows what ADP actually pulls from your bank for that payroll run. And these amounts right here should match your bank feed down to the penny. And in this example, the total cash outflow is $32,480.59. Let's go to QuickBooks Online. In QuickBooks Online, take these exact ADP withdrawals and send them to one expense bucket. Think of it as a temporary parking spot for payroll cash outflows. I call mine Third-Party Payroll Expense. Let's create this account. It's an expense account, and this should go under the parent account, Payroll Expenses. This parent account stays empty. It's just for organization. Here's the big tip. When you use a third-party payroll service, don't stress about categorizing each ADP withdrawal in the bank feed. Just dump all of them into that one temporary payroll expense account. We'll sort everything out cleanly when we get to the journal entry, I promise. Separately, any employee health insurance like these 2, you pay directly to the insurance company outside of ADP, gets recorded to a health insurance expense account. These 2 transactions go to health insurance. At this point, if you look at the income statement, you'll only see 2 expense lines: the total ADP payroll cash flow, the $32,480.59, and that separate health insurance payment. No job costing yet. We're just capturing the raw costs. And there's a reason I'm pointing out that health insurance line. I'll show you why in a bit. Next, step 2, scroll down to the second page of the Payroll Liability Report from ADP. This is where we pull out 3 key employer side items Quick reminder, ER means employer, EE means employee. You'll want to identify or highlight or mark these three amounts. A, total employer payroll taxes, $2,269.66. Pay by pay insurance, this is your workers' comp. That's $87.91. C is the ADP retirement plan. So employer retirement contributions, things like a 401k match or simple IRA match, that's $454.16. All of these show up under ER contribution column since they're paid by the employer. You won't see health insurance here because ADP isn't paying it. That's why we recorded it separately earlier. And yes, that separate health insurance expense I showed you earlier is about to come back into the picture, so keep that in mind. Step 3. We're ready to create the journal entry. Date it to match the payroll date. In this example, it's 10/31/25. Just a heads up, if the money gets taken out on the 2nd of the following month, our third-party payroll expense account won't clear until the 2nd, and that's okay, don't freak out. Let's name this journal entry PRJE 2025-10. 10 because it's October. First, we credit the temporary expense account, third-party payroll expense, for the total cash amount of $32,480.59 to remove it from that generic bucket. You can find this amount from the Payroll Liability Report page 1. See, it says here total cash. That's all we need for now. Let's plug in that amount. And for the description, we can say, to clear ADP payroll withdrawal. Now we start debiting the correct expense accounts using the numbers from that ADP report. You need to scroll down to the second page of the liability report and enter the debits in this order. Payroll ER taxes expense for $2269.66. That's item A. Let's say to record ER payroll taxes. Pay by pay insurance or payroll workers comp for $87.91. That's B. Let's say to record workers' compensation. ADP retirement plan or retirement plan ER match for $454.16 to record ER retirement contribution. These entries pull apart that big ADP withdrawal and reclassify it into the right expense buckets: employer taxes, workers' comp, and the employer's retirement match. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there. Step 4 is where we open the Payroll Summary report to pull the total gross wages for each employee, so we can split those amounts into the correct wage expense categories in our journal entry. Ignore net pay and use only the gross pay column for the journal entry. Let's debit salaries and wages. Total paid or gross wages is $30,208.34. And let's say to record gross wages. Step 5. Now we pull up the Deductions Summary report. Here, we're looking for the total amount employees contributed toward medical, dental, and vision. In our example, the employee portion comes to $539.48. Remember, we already recorded the full health insurance premium as an expense when we pay the insurance company directly. Let me show you that part in the bank transactions. There it is. Going back, since part of that cost was actually paid by the employees through payroll deductions, we need to reduce our health insurance expense by their portion. To do that, we enter a credit to an expense account like health insurance for $539.48, using the total from the Deductions Summary. This adjustment ensures that only the employer-paid portion remains as the true expense in our books. Here, we'll say to reverse employee health insurance portion. All right, for those of you who want debits to go first, simply grab this part from here and move this down. For this journal entry, I'm going to add a customer name called Operations. You can name it whatever you prefer. There's a purpose for this. The goal is to use one consistent customer name so that when you run an income statement by customer, but first let me save this. Okay, let's go to the income statement by customer. Filter to show operations. See, all of your operations payroll costs land in one place. After you save the journal entry and run that report for the payroll date, you'll see exactly how the original third-party payroll expense amount from the bank gets broken out into wages, employer taxes, workers' comp, retirement contributions, and the adjusted health insurance. This makes the impacts of the payroll entry easy to follow and even easier to explain to yourself or to your clients. Now, if you want to reuse this setup, click Make Recurring. Give the template a name like Monthly Payroll JE. Set it to Unscheduled and save it. This way you can pull up the template and just update the amounts each pay period. To check our work, let's go to the regular income statement. You'll see that the third-party payroll expense is at $32,480.59. Let's update this. Wow! Now, this temporary expense account is clear. Isn't that beautiful? And there you have it. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more bookkeeping tips.